I'm RT Senior Editor Stephanie Close, and I am here with Libba Bray, author of Beauty Queens, which won the June Seal of Excellence from RT Magazine. Libba, thank you for being here with us.
Oh, thanks for having me. Also, thank you for the Seal of Excellence. I feel very like USDA choice.
Well, all of us loved the book, and our readers loved the book, and it got a gold in the magazine, which doesn't happen very often.
This is my party dance chair. Party chair. Dance. I probably shouldn't spring too much on them at once.
That's okay. We'll get to more dancing later.
More dancing, okay.
So why don't we talk a little bit about how you came up with the idea for the book?
Sure. Actually, I did not come up with the idea for the book, which was very, very different. David Levithan, the fabulous David Levithan, who is an editor at Scholastic and also just an amazing writer and a good friend of mine, called me up many years ago and said, I have this hilarious idea for a book and I want you to write it. So let's go talk about it over lunch. And he said the magic word, which is lunch. So I was all over that because he was going to give me a burrito in addition to a cool idea. And so
and possibly a fun conversation.
Exactly.
And a burrito.
And also easy on the eyes, that David Levithan.
He is. That he is.
Whoa. So we went and had lunch and he said, okay, plane load of teen beauty queens crash on an island and go. And I went, oh, this burrito is amazing. Also that idea. And I thought, how could I not write that book?
Yeah.
So that was really the start, but I had to wait for a few years before I could get to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So were you a fan of beauty pageants? Did you know any beauty queens?
I am from the hometown, Denton, Texas, of two former Miss Americas.
Wow.
Phyllis George and Shirley Catherine Barrett. So, and my mother and I used to watch the Miss America pageant every September. That was kind of like our ritual. So, yeah, I have always, I'm familiar with the beauty pageant world, only from a distance.
Okay.
And, you know, I did grow up in Texas.
Sure. So if you were in a beauty pageant, what do you think your talent would be?
I'd need a talent, wouldn't I?
I think so.
Getting people to take me to lunch wouldn't count, would it?
That might work, actually.
Okay.
If you're good enough at it.
I would probably be, it would probably be singing and singing ridiculous songs. Probably I'd put together a medley of things that don't really seem like they would belong together, like Kurt Weill and ABBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would work.
Just, I feel like if you can't really dazzle people with your, you know, with talent, then you should just confuse them.
Dazzle them with something else. Do you have a favorite karaoke song?
I do have a favorite karaoke song.
Is it a secret?
Maybe. No. Well, there's the karaoke song that I love, which is "Son of a Preacher Man." But then there's the karaoke song that you just have to do before the evening is out, and that would be "Total Eclipse of the Heart."
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I can feel my hair getting bigger as I sing it. Again, I am from Texas. There's like a pneumatic. If you push my belly button, my hair
The hair
gets bigger.
expands.
Right up to Jesus.
So with Beauty Queens, how did you develop the characters? Because you have quite a diverse array of characters. Where did you start with that?
That's a really good question. I would love to have a really good answer. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can put one together. Will you sing some hold music? Oh, right, you don't do public singing.
I don't do public singing.
You don't do. Do you want to just do like some drumming?
Yeah, I could do some drumming while we.
Drumming. Okay.
Okay.
So the answer is that I just start wherever I start. I knew that I wanted to have a Miss Texas, obviously, because there's always a Miss Texas in the top 10.
Yeah.
And I knew that she was going to be, like she would have been in the pageants since she was 5 years old, and she would also be a firearms expert. So I knew those things. And then, but I really wanted to explore all the facets of growing up female. And I wanted to make sure that that experience was not reductive, that it was not just, like, okay, here is, the girl that we're going to focus on. I wanted there to be a large cast of characters because there's so many, there's so many different experiences growing up female. So, yeah, so it just sort of evolved.
Are you one of these people who loves first drafts, or do you prefer editing, or is there a part of the process that you
that
really works for you?
Finishing? Yeah, finishing is
I hear
always
that's
good.
nice.
It is, and there's an ice cream afterwards. Not post-celebratory ice cream, yeah. I guess it's not post-celebratory. It's post-finishing. There should be a better word than that. Yeah, hi, I write for a living. Can't think of it. There should be a celebratory ice cream. But it's funny because I think there are parts of the first draft that I really love, and then there are parts of revision that I really love. I'm a big reviser. My joke is that I'll say, like, now it is a craftsman bungalow. Now it is Versailles. Now it is a shingle-style beach house. I remodel and revise a lot. And I tend to revise a lot as I'm writing. But, there are those moments when you're doing a first draft where everything is sort of fresh and new, and you're like, why not do this? Yeah. Sure. And then in revision you say, oh, right, that's why not, because it's stupid. So there are parts of each that I like. I think the great thing about revision is that by that time, it's kind of like making Jell-O, I mean, it's kind of semi-solid at that point. You can be like, I can still get a finger in there.
I could put some bananas in there if I wanted to.
But exactly, but I could put bananas in, or I could put some whipped cream on that.
Sure, absolutely.
Why does everything revolve around food with me, Stephanie? Why? I don't know.
It's the most important thing.
You know what I don't think people at home know? That we are sitting so close to each other right now, it doesn't look like that.
But we are.
Smell Stephanie's hair. I won't. It's so tempting. I bet it smells good. I bet it smells just like strawberries. And that's unicorn like tears.
So one thing in the book that I really loved was that a boatload of hot pirates show up. Who doesn't love a boatload of hot pirates?
Amen, sister.
Especially
high-five me.
A desert island full of teenage girls.
Is there a question with that, or did we just talk about our love of hot pirates?
Yeah.
Hot pirates.
Yeah.
That is just a phrase. That's like chocolate peanut butter, or again, I'm getting back to the food, or shoe sale.
Yeah.
Boatload of hot pirates. It just works. It's just there's never a bad time for that. Like, oh God, I'm going to a funeral. You know what this funeral needs? A boatload of hot pirates. Totally. So that's actually going to be my cottage industry. I'm going to supply hot pirates for funerals, and then people won't be so sad.
It's true. But it was a nice way to get some romance into the book, too.
It was.
And build in some romantic relationships.
Indeed. I mean, there's kind of romance all over the place.
Yeah,
there's a lot of romance.
There's a lot of romance in that book.
Ooh, did Lord of the Flies have romance? I'm asking you.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Not so much. See, if they'd had a boatload of hot pirates in Lord of the Flies,
that would have been a totally different book.
Awesome. Yeah. Like, oh. Now, our Christ imagery with Simon is gone. It's ruined. But boatload of hot pirates.
Always better.
Always better. Yes, it was a criminal amount of fun to get to write the pirates because I do happen to love pirates. And also, I don't know if you know that I used to write romance copy for Kensington.
I did not know that.
Yes, the great Kate Duffy, who was the editor there.
Absolutely.
The late great.
We loved Kate
God
Duffy.
Bless her. She was my mentor, and I adored her. And I used to write jacket copy for the likes of Laurie Foster and Mary Janice Davidson, and
so probably exposed to a few pirates that way.
A few pirates, and also some really hot, awesome romance. Those ladies, they can throw down. They are awesome. So, I happen to love romance, and also, I was a big, as a teen reader, I loved Jane Eyre, and I loved Wuthering Heights, and I loved Jane Austen. So I've always been a big fan of romance. So anyway, yeah, the opportunity to put in hot pirates, and especially hot reality TV show pirates.
I was going to say they're not the raping and pillaging pirates. They're a kinder, gentler pirate.
They are. They're with great hair gel.
Yeah, and nicely fitted
pecs.
Shorts.
You went for shorts, I went for pecs. Yeah. We're covered.
Top to bottom. I love that the girls really came into themselves and that they said, you know what, sometimes who I am is putting on lipstick and dressing up, and sometimes it's putting on a pair of hiking boots and go climbing up a mountain, or, taking down an evil overlord. That it really...
Like you do.
Like you do.
Yeah.
That
it really... Tuesday? I think I'll take down an evil overlord.
Yeah.
I've got the right shoes on.
And that it really gave them very fully rounded personalities at the end. That nobody came out as, caricatures.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and there wasn't much of a question in there, but
I think you've touched on something important, which is that one of the things that satire can do is that sometimes you can start with a stereotype, like, all right, I'll see you, then I'm going to raise you. But it's to start off with what might be a caricature or a stereotype and then subvert it and then have the chance to say, here's what you're not fully taking in. And in a way, it sort of mirrors what I hope the book explores in terms of growing up female, which is that I think so often, I mean, we know we're judged on our appearance, but it's also that I think, and I think that this also happens a lot as it pertains to teen girls, because it's so easy for people, speaking of being reductive, to say, well, oh, that's what a teen girl is. Well, really? Which teen girl? Are you talking about Emma up in Croton-on-Hudson? Because that's not who she is. Are you talking about, Elena down in Florida? Because that's not who she is. So I think that it's a way of sometimes disarming people, like they come in going, well, this is just crazy, this is nuts, and then having a chance to kind of get to know these girls and who they are as real human beings. But also because the book, I think at its heart, is very much about the search for identity and those ways in which we try to connect with other human beings. And in so doing, we find out about ourselves. So there's a line in the book where Mary Lou, who is Miss Nebraska, says, she's talking about Lord of the Flies, and she says that actually that she thinks girls need an island to find themselves. And I think that that's fairly true. I think that we have to find whatever that island is for ourselves in order to say, okay, well, this is who I am, this is not who I am. And that's a lifelong process, that. But thank you for saying that, because I hoped that they were real, living, breathing girls with hearts and souls and dreams and aspirations and vulnerabilities.
Yes, absolutely. Good. Well, do you have a beauty queen wave that you'd like to show off?
I don't, but I'm going to make one up on the spot.
All right.
Because that's how I roll. So first I'm going to cross my legs.
Okay. Very ladylike.
For the smile is just a little smugger than you.
Oh, and you have the back of the hand facing out.
Back of the hand, just like the queen. When you think of me, you should think of the queen.
Short,
We're so
long.
Short,
long.
Let me try that. Wow.
It feels
I feel
good,
we've kind of
it?
bonded here.
I do too.
Would it be okay for me to smell your hair now?
Please.
Oh my God, just like unicorn tears. I'm so right. Something special about her.
Well, thanks for coming, Libba.
Oh, thanks for having me. This was great fun.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired and I'm never coming round.
Sorry, I forgot the
words.
I ruined
That's
that.
really
I
all the
ruined
words
it, yeah.
I know. I just, they're always on the screen for me to follow.